player, I am loading the equipment overview.
Hey guys, TK1138 here, and I am back from Endwar. It's good to be home. I do want to thank all of you guys who did follow along in the live vlog on the way to Endwar, during FoamCon, and on the way back when we did an after-action report on what we thought about it. But man, nothing beats sleeping in your own bed, guys. It was a long trip. Now, don't get me wrong, I would do it again in a heartbeat. Endwar 2017 was a huge success. FoamCon was a huge success, and I am personally excited for Endwar 2018. Drac put on a great show. The mods and admins of the Ohio University were amazing. They put on a hell of a game, guys, and it was big. It was like a 400-person invitational. That's not easy. I actually did modding. I was a moderator for HvZ in my college for a while. It's like herding cats. So seriously, I cannot give enough props to them. But the point of this video is I wanted to review, like a post-game review of my gear. I'm not going to go through everything. The last video was 20 minutes, and that's ridiculous. We're not doing that. I actually just want to do my top 3 most useful items of Endwar 2017 and top 3 things I wish I had done better. So either way, I actually made it pretty well. My gear, I didn't have any issues for the most part, but I died. I did. I died at the end of mission 3, sent my guys on ahead, and I held the rear, and I got swamped. So we'll get to that because that is part of one of my items I'm going to discuss. So here we go. Quick review. TK1138's top 3 best and worst items of 2017's Endwar. So we're going to start with a positive note. Top 3 things I'm super glad that I brought with me. Now, I run with a lot of gear, and if you guys want to know more about it, you can go back in my channel to number 10, Endwar 2017 loadout video, where I will list all the items I wore, where they're from, how much they are. Really great thing, useful tool for buying tactical gear that I've tried. On the other hand, I can definitely say some things were more important than others. Now, I'm not going to cover all of it because, again, you know, a chest rig was great. Stored mags. You need mags. Mags are good. Helpful. Drop leg, same thing. Most important item was my hydro pack. It's hot in the summer. So this one, while expensive, was great. I could store extra GoPro batteries. I could store snacks, first aid kit, extra magazines, water, tons of extra darts. It was great. As a human, I never really had to worry about running out of water. This thing held 3 liters. But even for buying a cheap one, it's super recommended. I saw a lot of guys carrying canteens. Canteens are hard, like on your hips. And so, highly recommend this, plus storage. Some of the other guys in my squad had storage issues. You know, hell, I had storage issues that I thankfully had enough extra room for. I ditched like my knee pads halfway through the day, threw them in a dump bag. Phone charger, no problem. All this extra stuff. So, super great to have, and if you're going to play any sort of HvZ in the summer, having a good hydro pack as well as storage for stuff is good. I saw guys with tons of blasters, and that was, good and all, but having room for magazines and everything, super awesome. Next thing is a map. I am not in Athens, Ohio. In fact, before Endwar 2017, I had never been to Athens, Ohio, but I did lots of research. I had a map. We marked like safe spots. We marked spots to avoid. We marked routes. We marked everything. And this was a super helpful tool for getting around. This one I'm going to frame because this is worn to hell because of how much we pulled this out and used it. But we didn't get lost. So that was nice. And most importantly, the most important thing I brought other than that hydro pack, my FDL2. It was a solid primary, and I highly recommend getting a solid primary. I'm one of those guys. I will carry 2 blasters, a primary and a secondary. You do not need more. Now, some people enjoy using more. There was a guy who had 8 hammer shots. That was flippin' cool. I'd seen Boondock Saints. I knew where that was going. But even he said he only ever used really the same 2. There were guys who had like 5 blasters. They had like a Raven on his back, hammer shot, a Magnus, all this other stuff. HvZ is an endurance game, and a lot of the people who hadn't played before, you could kind of tell by their loadout, because I saw one guy who was rocking an Artemis, he had elite mags here, and a Boomco pistol. That's 3 different kinds of ammo, nothing cross-compatible, and I carried this and a Strife. Now, I never actually pulled my sidearm, guys. In fact, nobody on Tac Squad slash Barkle Squad slash Flying Chicken Project FDL, no one really pulled a secondary except for Dart Dragon, Daniel, who had an issue with his Straven in round 1 and murked his way through to the end of the mission with his Strife, which was exactly why you carry one. But I never pulled mine. But if I had, I did pull it. I never fired it. But even with this thing down, my Strife still uses all the mags I've loaded, so nothing goes to waste, which is important on a loadout. But this blaster, guys, won, not mine specifically, the FDL2 won Best Blaster of Endwar 2017. There were 8 of these monsters on the field, and that was a huge impact. They are great for, I use it in 2-shot burst, I use it in full auto. There's going to be tons of footage of me rocking this thing, of Project FDL, of Jackie, of Aiden, of Chappie had one. There was 8. Again, Randy had one. Yeah, there was a lot. We even sold one at FoamCon, guys. So, super awesome. And while this is an FDL2, this is not what I'm saying is the most important thing. Though I do highly recommend an FDL2, and I'll post links for that again. But it's a solid primary. Ray, as a mod, was telling us like how people were like, hey, do you have a screwdriver? Do you have batteries? Guys, it's Endwar. You got to carry everything with you. And so making sure it all works is super important. Now that I've covered the things that work great, I'm going to go over the top 3 things that did not. So, number 1, comms. This worked great for a long time. These were some I borrowed from work because we're phasing them out. Range was fine, but we played around with them so much when we were hunting dossiers and doing stuff that we kind of killed the battery before the big night mission, you know, where you can't see everybody and you need to be able to reach each other. We couldn't. Half of them were dead. So if you're going to bring comms and you're going to rely on comms, get solid comms. Do not do what I did and just kind of borrow some 4-year-old, not that they're for a 4-year-old, but these things I bought 4 years ago. Cheap radios. That is going to be the first thing I fix. I'm going to start buying some better comms for Tac Squad and everything. Number 2, a sling. Now, this is a single point, like elastic one, super comfortable. And something I wish I brought, because I had to keep like tucking my FDL or handing it so I could read a map, so I could check a phone message, so I could reload magazines from a dump pouch. The dump pouch full of loose darts, super great idea, by the way. I'm going to go, I know I'm kind of out of order, but being able to load mags during a calm period, awesome. Anyway, this is the number 2 thing I wish I had brought, and I did not. Because thankfully, I did not have to pull my Strife in a shitty situation. But if I had, I would have been in a lot of trouble. Now, I know FDL, Jesse, took a hell of a wipeout in Mission 3 and actually completely thrashed his FDL2 when it slid across the ground after being, like, thrown when he fell. You know, that'd have killed any blaster. So he actually had to, like, carry his dead FDL and use his wife's, who died. RIP. But, you know, how do you load mags if you're yeah. We both admit slings would have been super important. And the last thing I wish I had brought, and this would have saved me, in my opinion, and again, I've kicked myself to death over this. This is my light, and I wish I had brought it. Because I left it in the van. I used it for one night mission on Mission 0 when it didn't count. And then I left it in the van. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get it back before the night missions on Saturday. I didn't. So you guys will see it in the footage I'll be posting over the next couple of weeks. But I died when I sent the rest of my team on and I held the end of the line and I was shooting zombies and trying to keep them from swarming us. I was 2 minutes away from the finish line of Mission 3 and I got just wrapped in darkness like zombies. I couldn't see him. And the guy that tagged me, I didn't see him coming, guys. I did not. And in my mind, I think if I'd had my light with me, that would have been different. So don't get me wrong, while disappointed that I died at the end of Mission 3, my team went on to the final stand. We actually did not lose anybody else from the SCNC between Mission 3 and the end. And in fact, one of the SCNC, Carius, a.k.a. David Sexton, took home the Holy Grail because he was the last human standing. That's right, the last human standing was from the SCNC. Now, we didn't go home empty-handed. We had the Holy Grail, the whole point of the game. The last human standing was David. We brought home Best Blaster with Project FDL, Jesse, member of TAC Squad, and the SCNC for the FDL2. And I brought home an award with the MVB, which is Most Valuable Brains, which was given to like the MVP human, which I only died in Mission 3, guys. This was because of the SCNC. They cheered loud, and my man Chicken like really hyped me up, and I'm really grateful for everybody, and getting that is huge. You know, especially all I focus on is gear and tactics, and to get like MVB for human player of Endwar 2017 was big. So anyway, I'm going to cut this review kind of short. I just want to talk about the best and worst things. If you have any questions, you can comment below. Please remember to like and subscribe. And I've also created a new Facebook page, TK1138 Nerf. So at TK1138 Nerf on Facebook, you can find pictures from FoamCon and Endwar. You can find some video clips, which are going to be exclusive to Facebook and not posted here on YouTube. You can keep up with some of the SCNC stuff because I'm going to share stuff from Ammo Counter, from Project FDL, from other vendors, as well as like cool stuff from some of my sponsors and ways to get like promo codes for cheaper discounts on vinyl and a couple other things I'm working on. Lots in the works. I've got 12 videos that I'm planning to shoot in the next couple of weeks, so the Facebook will help you keep up to date with what's coming up next, when it's coming out. And the really cool thing is you can message me on there, guys. If you have questions, or if you want to show me a piece of gear, if you want to send me a picture or video of your loadout and see what I think, or if you just want to ask how the weather is down here in Alabama, totally shoot me a message on there, and I'd love to respond to you. It's a lot easier than doing it on YouTube. So, anyways, guys, this is TK1138. Nerf well, my friends.